Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around Multiverse with your host, the man who made a film, and I'm pretty sure never read the source material from the 3 films prior to it, Carl Charles, and
the man who named a chess maneuver after himself, foreshadowing for what happens later on in this series, CY Chung.
And today, I have no idea why we're doing this, and I regretted it hugely. We are talking about, what's the song called?
Robocop.
Robocop.
Prime
Crash and
Directives.
Burn, isn't it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Dark Justice, you got Meltdown, Resurrection, and Crash and Burn.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
Jump the gun.
Okay. Yeah. Get that out of the way straight away because you have to. Yeah. It's a 2001 TV series, which have like 4 episodes and they're 90 minutes each.
Yeah.
And gosh, is this cheap?
Yes.
They use the same, like, I think especially episode 4 where they're in the OCP tower, or whatever it is most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Like just stairways and rooms and stuff like that. It's just wow. All right, stairways, hallways, the computer room, just the same place, just redressed it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like they spent most of their budget on the, like, I want to say the 3rd one, because they get so, like, I want to say quote unquote CGI heavy, and it's
Yeah, and they actually go and do stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the series takes place 10 years after him being Robocop, but
yeah.
see, the first movie kind of happens, but whether it happens as the first movie, that's a question mark. I don't know if 2 and 3 happen.
Yeah, because that's what I was kind of thinking, like, maybe 3 didn't happen because, but then, yeah, I don't know. Here's
the thing, number 3, they had the Japanese cyborgs, yeah? Which look human.
Yeah.
So why would you build another Robocop to deal with Robocop if you had more of these advanced models and stuff like that? And this is 10 years after that.
Yeah.
Well, something like that, right?
Well, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But I'll get into lots of weird things I picked up on. Like,
all right, but what we do know for sure is the actual TV series, it does not take place in this continuity. So this is not a continuation of that.
I don't think it knows what it's meant to be a continuation of, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. It's his own thing, and not because the actors are different or anything like that. It's just like there's no continuation of certain threads there. What happened to Lewis? Whether she's alive or dead, there's no mention of it.
Nope.
As if she never existed as a character.
Yeah.
Robocop's wife. Well, yeah, I mean, like, they could just say she died, whatever, right? But just like there's certain things that from the series that from the movie series that just never got pulled over to here.
Yeah.
Except for the existence of his son.
Yeah, and that's a bit questionable as well.
Whether how do you mean the age?
Yeah.
Why you say that? Isn't he about 11? Oh no, hold on. Okay, yes, actually, yes, he'd be a very very young OCP employee.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Say in the original Robocop he was like 15, and fair enough. Yeah, 25. That makes 10 years later makes sense. Okay, you could probably get to that point, but I remember him being a child.
Yes.
So how is he looking like he's turning 30?
Yes. I know that. Oh, this is what got me. Look, okay, I have to say, guy playing Robocop, I didn't think he was that bad actually. I think he tried.
No, he tried.
He tried.
Yeah.
However, he's in a Robocop suit, standing next to normal people, and he's short.
He's like 5'4". Something that's me exaggerating, but yeah, it's like
yeah. Unless you're gonna say unless the guy playing his son, you're gonna say he's 6'2", and then this Robocop is 6 foot, right? But even then, Robocop should be beyond that.
Yeah, exactly.
He should probably be the tallest. Well, one of the tallest people there. If you're gonna not have like freakish mutantly tall people,
Yeah, exactly.
But he needs to be like the biggest stature guy, kind of. And that armor looked like it was too big for him. Like the chest plate looked massive.
Yeah. and you can tell it's like rubber.
Oh yeah.
And then they did that. They added the effect when people touched it. The ding. The metal's like, no, we know it's not metal. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you know what? No. Okay. Yeah. Now, certain things I'm like, all right, fair enough. Like, TV budget, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
The suit it didn't look terrible for what it needed to be done. Right.
No.
It just looked a bit bulky.
Yeah.
Even though Robocop suit is bulky, it just looked a bit more extra bulky for some reason. Maybe because like that's the size of the actor is the one, you know.
Yeah.
And then there was the cheap lighting effects that we could do in After Effects now.
Yep, that made me laugh all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is going on in this story? Is why I was wondering.
I'm just gonna ask you. I couldn't really keep up with what's going on. I was like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Initially, there was this. I want to say he's called Bonesaw, but he's probably not, right?
I think Bone something.
Yeah.
Bone. It's not Bone Jack. Something stupid.
Yeah, and then he's got these like what they Baron in Final Fantasy VII has the cannon guns in his hands or whatever, right? And then he's supposed to be the villain for the first episode, except that he's actually a fake out villain kind of, because he's not even the main villain for the series.
Yeah.
Even though the main villain then gets introduced in the middle of episode 3.
Yeah.
Which is like, hold on a minute. You should have made up your mind how this is all going to integrate together.
Like, the only way I would let this off, if there was like
Bone Machine. Bone Machine.
That's it, Bone Machine. Like, if there was like gaps in filming or whatever, say like not normal films. They know films come out like, say a film come out every 2 years, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand them sort of switching, like coming up with different ideas like half through. Hey, maybe we should add this person, but I'm pretty sure this all filmed at once, right?
Well, so, that's what it seems like, right?
Yeah. So wouldn't you already have that character in mind? So you kind of set the seeds from before.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And what is the and then the other dude takes over, and he's trying to take over the OC. Okay, OCP building has got the Sentinel Armory, whatever you want to call it, right? Program called Sane, and this guy wants to take it over and then turn people into a digital virus. What? Where did this come from?
None of this made sense.
I was like, okay. I was like, the future hacking, yes. I'm like, yeah. Is it? Look, right? RoboCop is not that. It's sci-fi, but it's not that sci-fi.
No.
Right. So where does this come from? You know,
out of their butts.
Actually, you know what? As well, I remember you saying that you saw this before.
Yeah.
And the thing you were remembering was that it was RoboCop versus Black RoboCop.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I didn't ask you, but do you remember Black RoboCop as in the guy in the Black RoboCop suit?
No, because the suit being black.
Okay, because the guy in that Black RoboCop suit is also black. Yeah. So I was just like, which black do you mean?
I was watching, like, oh, okay. And I was like, that's kind of.
Oh no! Do you think that was on purpose, or do you think they just happened to?
It's one of those things. I hope it wasn't on purpose, but then because of when it come out, I kind of do think it was on purpose.
I'm gonna say this, right? I know Power Rangers say otherwise, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was an accident, because they were like, oh, we got RoboCop in the silver armor, right? But if this is evil version of RoboCop, or this is the next level to take out RoboCop, let's make him look a bit more
menacing.
Yes, exactly. And you could even argue RoboCop, the one with Joel Kinnaman, he was also in black. So
but
But they're like, oh, yes, cool. Look, black armor looks cool and sleek, or something like whatever. All right, whatever. All he needed, by the way, was that you know how RoboCop's got the visor, whatever, right? He needed the red one to go across, right?
I think like, why? That doesn't make any sense. You should at least change that bit. But alright, cool, whatever.
What did you think of the character of John T. Cable?
He was like, he was a good character, but I don't know if they knew what they was actually trying to do with him.
It is true.
Because, like, when you showed the flashbacks when him and Murphy were both normal, I say humans, and whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, they both were kind of good or whatever. And then the whole bit where they find that guy who was killing women.
Yeah.
And he just shoots him like several times.
Okay. Hold on. Let me set the scene first because this has got the cable maneuver, which I also will cover. So when we first meet the human John Cable and human Alex Murphy, they're playing chess, kind of, and well, they are playing chess. But I mean, kind of, right? So Cable does something, and Murphy's like, "Aha, got you, yeah." And then he basically takes away one of the pieces and say, "Oh, next piece the next move we checkmate." And then Cable says, see, the Cable maneuver. You thought you were going to checkmate me on the next move. Nah, this one move here, that's the checkmate. You just checkmate them because you got to do the sacrifice play. Just like Captain America taught Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
And then, like you're saying, yeah, they're on the same beat or whatever, they're friends, and they're like, okay, we're going to go investigate some serial killer, whether they, just randomly there for that particular scene, yeah? And
they accidentally stumble upon this as well, yeah. So I can't
because
it makes sense, yeah.
There's a dog, right, in the yard or something like that, and then he's eating a bone, and they're going towards it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoa, there's even more bones, even though it's just underneath a ledge or something like that. You can't see. All you can see is their reactions. I'm like,
yeah.
Is this a PG-13 series? Because if it is, right,
doesn't know where it's meant to be going with this. But yeah.
Exactly. That's the problem. Is like you can't commit to the bits.
Yeah.
If you're not ludicrous.
Yeah.
To that level of the original RoboCops, you know.
Yeah.
So we don't see what the craziness happens. We just assume it, but then that also numbs you to what happens later on. Where they break into the wherever it was, yeah, and they go, oh yeah, because who can't wait for that warrant, right?
Yeah. Because what warrant? What stuff?
Yeah. So they open the fridge. Some lady pops out of it, tied up lady, and there's some other tied up ladies popping out somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And then Murphy's tending to her while John goes upstairs, and he gets caught by the killer in like a.
But there's a bit where you see there's a dead woman sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
You can see her breathing. It's hilarious. I was like, you see her breathing and her eyes moving, but.
Oh, that's how cheap this series is. They couldn't even afford to reshoot that twice.
Nope. I was like, oh, jeez, bless him. But something like that happens later on again. But
yeah. And then, so he's got a Cable in the hostage situation, right?
Yeah.
And Murphy's like, and Cable's like, Murphy, you got to shoot him. And Murphy doesn't, because no one hurt his friend. He puts the gun down. I think John just takes care of himself. Beats up the guy and then uppercuts him and everything like that. And then he's talking to Murphy saying, you should have shot him.
Yeah.
You should have taken a shot. And then he turns around, right? All solemn and serious. And he shoots the guy, the serial killer.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, so all of a sudden, like, all emotion drained out of his face. So are you setting up John Cable? Because this is part way through the episode. So John Cable's already been introduced, and he's like, all about no killing, right? So he's done his actions don't jive. So I'm like, are you setting up him to be a villain later on?
Yeah.
You know, because this is where you're foreshadowing. I don't know.
No.
Well, they do kind of, because they're like, it's the fake out because he becomes Robo Cable, right?
Yeah.
So he gets sent after RoboCop. So you just kind of assume, all right, he's going to embrace his evilness. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it turns out he's never evil in the first, or whatever, you know. It's just like,
because even in the end, it's like, huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the character it conveniently flips alignments because of how you want to frame the story at that point.
Yeah.
Whether it makes sense or, the suspense of whatever, right? But it's just, okay, that's inconsistency.
Yeah, especially when, like, near the end, bit of a spoiler, when we say he's full-on bad guy, it's not because he chooses to be, he's being controlled.
Yes, by the doctor dude, whatever.
Yeah, so realistically, you don't have to set up this whole thing about, oh, could he be a bad guy? It doesn't really matter, because in the end, it had nothing to do with control anyway.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and I was laughing because I was like, that's exactly what happened at towards the end fight of Batman vs Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you set up their ideologies. Nah, Lex Luthor just threatened them.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Easy, I guess. Oh.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I did like some of the jokes, by the way. I say some of the jokes, but the certain things that they could do to make it align with the original RoboCop film, where they had all those ads playing every single so often during the episodes. You know, the OTP stuff or the newscast and that stuff, which is like a bit. It's over the top stuff, like parody stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you kind of trying to get the vibes of original RoboCop, except you can't.
But it's too. Again, this film doesn't actually know what rating or it is. It's like too PG or trying to be too clever.
Yes. Yeah. Because you don't see any blood or anything. I'm not, by the way, saying everything needs blood or violence, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how it is with Titans, right? They need none of that, but they still do it anyways. Yeah. It's just that something like RoboCop is that's how they established it, and you can't really backtrack afterwards. It's a bit silly when they do Terminator, either 15 or 18, depending on when it came out, right? Because I think sometimes they adjust the ratings afterwards. Anyways, and then Terminator Dark Fate at 12. It's like, what?
Even though I've said before.
No,
but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Terminator 3 was a 12. You know, just like okay, so you know, yeah. But I defanged it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And like some of those ads were quite funny, but then some of them were like literally feel like they got literally. Okay, I get they're trying to get the vibe was they literally got people off the street to talk in some of those adverts, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's too like meta, if that makes sense. Like, well, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I
just because you throw in a couple of other stuff in there, you can make it a bit more over the top or ludicrous, and that way it's just like but you need to aim at a certain audience for them to get it. It's just okay. So I'm sure back in the days when you were watching James Bond, right?
Yeah.
PG James Bond, by the way. Yeah, we're talking about those ones. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like he's got his wisecracks, but it kind of goes over your head. And then you watch it later on when you're older, and you're like, wow, that's racy stuff he's saying right there.
Yeah, like how is this a PG? Yeah,
exactly. But this they just don't do none of that.
Like there's that weird advert with the clones of women. I was like,
yeah,
we're just going. And then the only thing that made me laugh was like, now an ethnic. Like, oh wow, okay, that's.
Yeah. Right. One other bit that did make me chuckle is in episode 4 where they got the guy the corrupt OCP whatever dude, right, is trying to take it over, and he's like, and they show these new investors how Saint is going to protect the build. Sorry, how Saint can protect the building if it's overrun or whatever. From invading forces, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
and then. It tells Saint to drop the shields, and you got a window cleaner outside.
Yeah.
On screen, right? It's CG obviously because it's cheap CG. Yeah. It's not even like they filmed that bit outside or like in screens. No, just these terrible CG, right?
Yeah.
Because they had to have the shutters go down, and the shutters then cut his cables that he's using to clean the windows.
Yeah.
So then he drops. But all the investors are turning around at that point, and he was leading them outside, and the lone guy watching the computers is like, dude, and then at that point the window washers already fell off the screen.
Yeah,
he's like, actually it was nothing.
Yeah, I was like, and that's another thing. I was like, this film series needs to know, like, realistically, did that bit need to happen? No, but then have like weird, pointless murders or deaths.
Yeah, well that's. Because if you choose a tone, you stick to it, like that black comedy, yeah. Fine,
So halfway through, like maybe we want to go for the A rate. I mean, not A, sorry, like PG rating, and then like halfway, like you know what? Nah, we don't. It's like okay.
Yeah. I when I first kind of read about this series, I thought it was going to be, I say, old man RoboCop. You know what I mean? Like. RoboCop Dark Knight Returns, that sort of thing, where it's just like the technology's advanced from him, and he's like obsolete material.
Yeah.
But then gets reactivated for his, whatever it was. In fact, what they could have done, maybe what they should have done, but they didn't, was to make a rip-off RoboCop versus Terminator.
Yeah.
Because even though they have the rights to the Terminator, right? Terminators look like humans, so you get some buff-looking Tonks guys, right? And they could just pretend to act like Terminators, even though technically they're not, right? But you could say they're advanced models.
Yeah.
Even in the how much of the storyline of RoboCop versus Terminator? I was about to say Batman versus Terminator. Yeah. RoboCop versus Terminator. Do you know?
Not much. Well, I know there was a game, and that's all I actually knew.
All right. So there's a NES game, there's a Mega Drive game, and there's the comics, right?
Yeah.
One of the storylines, and I know they're all the same, by the way. No, right? But one of the storylines is they used because RoboCop is part man, part machine, right?
Yeah.
So it's a robot with Murphy's brain waves, essentially. Yeah. And now that becomes, when they start developing that further, that is the basis for Skynet.
Okay.
Yeah. And now I was like, okay, that's logical.
Yeah.
And so the Resistance fire in the future send someone back to kill RoboCop. But obviously, Skynet had to send a whole bunch of Terminators to kill that person to protect RoboCop. Yeah, and then I believe RoboCop does get killed, but before that, he uploads himself into Skynet to reassemble himself in the future to fight them. Well, okay, that bit's a bit far.
Yeah, that's where it gets a bit convoluted. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. but yeah, if you had some human person trying to kill RoboCop while these robots, I would say, the cyborgs are trying to kill them, and then RoboCop's figuring out the story. Yeah. You could have just done, RoboCop versus Terminator, but RoboCop whatever it was,
Yeah.
In fact, you could have probably just used the same titles.
Yeah. That's okay.
Oh. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, we are Legion, as they said. Well, it called itself Legion in the end, Saint, didn't it? I was like,
yeah.
Maybe Terminator.
And what's the other one? What did it call? Oh no, that's in Terminator Dark Fate, right? It called itself Legion.
Yeah. Wait, it's Legion, and then Genesis is in Genesis. Yeah. So never mind.
5. Yeah.
Oh god.
And then at one point it was Cyborg Superman.
Wait, what?
Yeah, did you know there was Superman versus Terminator?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and Cyborg Superman was, I think, the reason for that or something like that.
Oh wow! So that
he was. I was like, when you get these robots, and you throw these stories like that, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. These things being what Skynet is spawned off makes sense, But if they did a Titans crossover, Terminator versus Titans or whatever, and then you had the Terminators kidnap Cyborg to create.
That makes sport. The only thing with this new Cyborg, then technically Skynet is an alien rather than an AI.
Yeah, but then I mean, it's true. But what I'm saying, when you throw it out there, these sort of things can make sense in your story of Skynet's AI or stuff like that, rather than just because it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, you're saying that this series is disappointing, right? I'm not going to deny it was, right? But you're just saying how disappointing on a level. Wait, you went in there knowing that it was bad because you've seen it before, and you're still disappointed.
Yep.
Okay.
Like, there was one of the big things that took me out of it, made me laugh. Was when Jimmy Murphy goes to his dad's grave.
Yeah.
And this sounds like this. They have not read the source material whatsoever. Okay, Terminator. I mean, not Terminator. Sorry, RoboCop. It's meant to be set in 2038. Yeah.
I have not seen that movie in so long. I can't recall.
Because I had to Google this afterwards. Like, they messed this up. So it's set in 2038. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so realistically, this film should be set in 2048, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you look at his grave, it says Alex Murphy, born 1953,
Yeah.
died 1990.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what? So it's
Yeah.
it's did yeah, and I was like, wait.
Yeah.
So this film is literally meant to be set in 2001.
Whoa. No, because he's been in RoboCop. Oh yeah, yeah.
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 So like that
Yes.
doesn't wait. No. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it does, and they kind of handicap themselves because they're doing it in modern day, but we know none of this has happened in modern day.
Well,
Like it
yeah,
kind of gives
but
you leeway if you put in like 2030 or whatever. Like
yeah,
who knows what's gonna happen in the next in
yeah.
2020? What's gonna happen next like 20 years? But you kind of, I was like, this doesn't wait what? And I
Yeah.
had to laugh. I was like, this is they've messed themselves up. They didn't read the
Yeah,
source
but
material.
and you got to say if this is the future that far. Well, no, this series taking place when it was, but
Yeah.
even if RoboCop wants to take place in where the timeline that it is supposed to take place,
Yeah.
that's actually a huge jump in. Well, would you say how much have things advanced? I'd say fashion is the only thing that's really changed that much.
We got between like 20 like 2000 and 2024.
Oh no, I mean like from RoboCop one was 1987, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was meant to take place in 2000. What did you say? 238?
Yeah, 238. Yep.
Yeah. And when you look at 1987 to now, I don't think a huge. Okay, as far as the film goes, you would only say like fashion has changed. I know there's a more advanced technology, but they didn't reference it at the same time. They think they didn't reference it too much. You know, it's like when you watch certain other movies like Blade Runner, flying cars and stuff like that. And you're like, well, you know.
Yeah. It's not much. I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, and then you got some films that don't really age themselves out or won't really age themselves out a long time, like Batman Begins is almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it still could have been filmed 5 years ago with all the way that it's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say, I'm not sure how much the next couple of years, the decade will change. But I'm certainly sure that the vision that they saw of RoboCop 1 is not going to be how the world is looking.
Yeah.
Also, there's some bits in RoboCop 1 that did like where they took the humor and just went over the top with it. Like the bit where the lady's about to get assaulted. And RoboCop shoots through her dress and the guy into the guy's nuts. And I was like, okay, that's funny. I mean, it's meant to be ludicrous, So, also the bit where Emil gets knocked into the toxic waste and then he walks out like
like some whatever, and then he gets hit by a car and just turns to water, basically.
yeah. Like, okay, you know what I mean? All right, if you say so, yeah. And then when Ed 209 falls down the stairwell and then he just stomps his legs like he's having a fit. No, flailing about. It's like, okay, Oh, and where Ed 209 starts like when they're doing the what's it called? The I want to say the display, but the prototype thing magic phase.
Yeah.
To the shareholders, and they tell the guy to pick up the gun. And he picks up the gun. Ed 209 says, "You got 10 seconds to drop it."
Yeah.
The guy puts it down right away, and then Ed 209 is still counting. And then the guy tries to hide behind everyone else, and they shove him away. And then he gets shot to pieces and falls out the window and stuff like that. No, it doesn't fall out the window. Sorry, he gets shot to pieces, right?
Basically shot to like a powder cloud, I mean, blood cloud, basically.
Yeah. And then Dick Jones is like, "Oh, we're gonna." I mean, at least it sets the tone of the movie, but
it's just this film had like an identity crisis.
Yeah. I think they tried to have that guy, the boardroom guy. I can't remember his name. The guy trying to take over the OCP.
Was
Damien was
Damien,
it?
yeah, that's it. Dimitri, no, Damien,
Yeah.
yeah.
Damien, yeah. He just came off as like he knew what kind of series he was in, rather than be someone's series. He's like, I'm just gonna be a little bit of a nudge, wink, wink character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay. What do you think of James Murphy?
Kind of pointless.
Okay. I have to say, the material was given. He tried, right, but he wasn't good enough. The material, however, what can we say? Aside from the guy playing Alex Murphy,
yeah.
I think everyone played to the level that they kind of were.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like, people could be better actors, right?
Yeah,
but they kind of just realized what they were. They didn't play up to their peak because they were just like, we're gonna be ill relative to each other in acting levels, probably because they don't really need to do that much in a way of emotional depth, anyways, right?
Yeah. But like you can watch him like, okay, yep, this is definitely a TV made for TV.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like they didn't have time or budget for a lot of things, and it's just like let's just push it, let's just get it done and dusted and out of the way. We've got deadlines to fill.
Yes.
There was one scene where Robocop I think it's had a gunfight with Dark Robocop, okay? And their gunfights, I don't even know, like spinning they're two standing still, right? Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you get all them spinning cameras and all that stuff to make it look like it's so dramatic. It's like one time when they're just shooting at each other, Dark Robocop's got two guns, Robocop's got one gun. They're just shooting straight at each other, right? And then the camera does a 360 around them and everything, like to make it look like there's something more other than two people standing rooting to the spot and shooting at each other.
Yeah.
Then there's the one later on where they have they're fighting the OCP building where they've got those glass cabinets, whatever they are staring through.
That. Yeah.
And they're just basically casually walking as they're shooting at each other with the glass shattering. And then they get into a shoving match. It's just like, oh my goodness,
Yeah, it's...
You guys couldn't really do anything. To be fair, they're probably fine in the confined area anyways, right? So it's not as if the actors could do anything, but it's just like, you're not even throwing haymakers like that kind of break the walls or anything like that. You just kind of grab each other and do the old Ultraman versus Godzilla kind of shove and push and stuff like that.
And like there's other bits where they are fighting and they just slow it down, but it makes it look even worse. Like, oh, this just makes it look even more terrible. Hello?
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you see. I see what happened there. By the way, I thought you went mute, right? And I thought your mic disconnected. So. No, what you did was you said they are fighting, and what you did was put your hand in your palm in silence because you were just shaking your head in dismay. And I interpreted it as, did something technically go wrong?
No,
but no.
Was my
no, like you did an action that I realized what you were doing.
You need a bit. Hello?
I feel like they did.
Say again?
There was one bit in one of the later episodes where he so after he's finding after he's standing still shooting Dark Robocop, and then he needs to.
You cut out again.
And then he's basically driving to the downtown area, if you know.
Hello?
Market area. And he's in his Robocop suit. And he's got a some sort of sack rope thing. A potato sack over him, essentially.
Yeah.
And then he's going to ask to buy some cable, some mechanics or technical, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the guy looking at him can blatantly see his Robocop.
Yep.
It's like, and I read that he was meant to have his mask off that day, so he could pass for half human or whatever, right? Which would have made a lot of sense, but they were like, we don't have the time for that. Okay, that doesn't make anything make sense, but whatever, right? Because like when he gets unveiled as Robocop, all of a sudden the guy who's serving him is like, "Oh my god, it's Robocop!" Like, dude, you're looking at him.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was dumb. Like, wait, huh?
Yeah. What?
And, like, you could tell by the way he's speaking as well that he's not a normal person. You know. Hello.
This series is quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Wait, how many times have you seen it?
This is well, I've never seen it in its entirety, but this is the first. I think I've seen the second one. You know, when they leave together, where they'll come for us, like whatever. I've seen that one before. The others, I don't think I will. I think I've seen it, but I didn't pay attention.
When did you first watch it? Do you remember around the time period that you saw it?
Would have been around 2001, 2002.
And why did you watch it? Did you just happen to be on it? You're like, oh, let me check this out.
I think my parents were watching it because it was on Sci-Fi Channel or something like that, and I was there. So okay.
Your dad's a Robocop fan?
I think my mum and dad were.
And then they saw this and they were like, nah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, so they're watching it and then they were like, you know what, let's just not even bother watching the rest of the series.
No, I think they did. I didn't.
Okay.
Like, you know what, I'm alright.
Yeah. I feel like... Okay, so it feels like... What would you say the rating of the Daredevil TV series is?
I'll give out of what?
No, as in like with 15, 18, age rating.
15. Maybe a 15.
Yeah. I could see that level of. What would you say the Punisher series is?
15 as well, because it's not as.
Okay, not an 18.
Nah, because there's no like real like gore, is there? So
I actually think as well. It does not swear a huge amount of times in it either. So.
Then you drop the S-bomb, then we'd say that's it. Really,
Yeah, but then this could have been if this was something like that. Not necessarily. I mean, like just tone or something like just. Yeah, it's too kiddie friendly for what it is, and that's the main problem with it.
Yeah.
And then like we were saying from the beginning, it gets weird and wacky later on because. And there's a lot of coincidences, by the way, to tie this story nicely together. For the guy who becomes the villain for the back end of the story, has a wife who's and her tech thief friends, who befriend Robocop while he kidnaps Dark Robocop, Robocable, whatever, right, and uses him to do his bidding. And the wife and the bad guy have a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. And then all right, so you just all happen to be connected to each other. All right. You know. Fine. If it's the most convenient and quickest way to tell your story that you think to use, go ahead. You know.
Yeah.
It just makes it like.
It's like, what's the best way of putting it? There's no best way of putting it, if I'm honest.
ACP and him working in the police force because it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Because the OCP is involved with the police force. If you take part one into
consideration,
how much I buy James Murphy being involved in OCP if he didn't know his dad was Robocop.
Yeah, that was another weird little plot point that didn't make no sense.
He just happened to work there.
Yeah.
All right. You know, if you're gonna say, his dad was a cop, he got killed, and then he went to OCP because they owned the police. You know, there was a reason why he went to work there, and he knows that you help fund you work your way up, and you could then help the police fund themselves for better protection or something, because they don't want what happened to his dad to happen to other people's dads or whatever, right? He just happens to work there. Okay, Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. I and you know what is also I don't know if you felt like this, but it didn't seem like there was a huge amount of cast members in this.
Yeah.
It's like they concentrate on a certain amount of people, and that's that. The rest of the people kind of weave in and out, but they're not really involved enough for you to make any sort of decision or emotional involvement in them. And the guys you are meant to be involved with, emotionally involved with, you're like, yeah, but this is not well written up enough for me to care.
Yeah. That's the best way of putting it. Yes. It's just I don't
believe when the oh sorry.
So what?
When the tech thief lady and the I you know, I don't even know the names of these people, by the way. I know that the main villain, right?
Yeah.
When they die, I'm like, okay. I mean, I think she sacrificed them both in order to destroy Saint or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right.
But
you know,
another thing, what makes me uncomfortable about? There's lots of things that this film makes me quite uncomfortable as well.
Go.
You know the last bad guy, that crazy dude with the kid who's like got a Ethernet port in her belly and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's his kid. Yeah. The main bad guy. Yeah.
The way he just beats up his ex-wife is so uncomfortable. I'm like,
Yeah. By the way, it's not like he's abusing her, like literally slapping her about and stuff like that. No, he's like, yeah. He's just like, okay, well, you know what? We ain't married no more. Baps, you know.
Yeah, headbutts her. It's.
Oh, to be fair, she fights back, but at the same time, yeah, it's not done to that comedic level, and it's just trying to be serious when it's not.
Yeah, it's just super like uncomfortable. There's like some bits is just super uncomfortable. Like, ooh, why you're still doing this? This is a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. What was that thing with the kid all about? You know, is she a cyborg? What was it?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
None of it made sense, dude.
Yeah. Do I regret watching this? I don't know, because it wasn't comedic enough that it tried to be serious.
Yeah.
Right? But he shouldn't have done that because it wasn't memorable for trying to do that. All I remember is that it was cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what the moral of the story was either.
Yeah. Well, it's like Robocop's kind of short as well, so I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they never played the main theme song.
Probably don't have the rights to it.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I was like, okay, I'm waiting for it. Even the intro song, the intro theme for the Prime Directives, you know, the title card, isn't even the standard Robocop march or whatever you call it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just I don't. It was
Saint whatever that runs the city,
yeah,
and all the lights go out and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then Robocop steps out. This is after they've dealt with Dark Robocop or Robocable trying to take over.
Yeah.
No, he's fighting Robocop, and then he's trying to fight his own programming because he got reprogrammed by the main bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, several times. Yeah.
Yep. He shanks Robocop in the back of the head, and then he goes off to deal with Saint with the EMF, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Saint's countdown to full control all over the city. And then the Robocable is like, have you ever heard of the cable maneuver? Yeah. And then he's like, then he basically presses, you sacrifice yourself, you sacrifice one part for the end game or whatever. And then he presses the EMP and goes, checkmate. So then he kills himself, right?
Yeah.
And then all the technology goes out for a little bit. Robocop, you think he's dead because his son's holding his lifeless body, except that he reboots.
Wait, before that bit, you know what I find hilarious? No one stabs in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Murphy tries to catch Robocop. I was like, this film doesn't know is so inconsistent with its own continuity, because like they've shown that when Robocop jumped the window to make cracks on the ground and stuff. So what does his son think he's been able to catch this dude who's like 2 tons? He'll crush him.
Yeah.
I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yes.
All right.
Oh. Yeah. So then Murphy reboots. You see on the display screen John Cable talking to him about the cable maneuver, and he goes, "Murph, I got you. I got your back. And in fact, I reset your system, so you don't have to worry about the Prime directives no more. You can be your own man."
Yeah.
You know,
your own robo man. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And so when Saint gets shut down and all the city goes dark and everything like that, and Robocop, they're rescuing the hostages from the building or whatever. And James Murphy goes to his Robocop. He said, "So what are you gonna do?" And he goes, and then Robocop basically says, "Oh, it's something about the city in darkness." And then he's like, "What I'm gonna do is serve
the people,
serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law." And then as he's walking to the city with whatever OCP building is very far from the actual city, it seems, right?
Yeah.
But he's walking to the dark city, and you see James Murphy going, "You go, Dad, yeah!" Like, what?
All was missing was like, what I was waiting for to happen was go, "You forgot this," and someone's gonna throw him his gun. That's what I thought would have made it even more cheesier. And then they play the Robocop march. That's it, you know. Except for he just told me Robocop.com, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Yeah.
But no.
Exactly.
Didn't hear that. Quite disappointed. Yeah.
But yes, I'm actually convinced if this was super cheesy, just like how when we were watching Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Or Street Fighter, yeah? And you're like, you didn't appreciate back in the day.
No.
When you were expecting it to be serious. But you realize the entire thing's just a laugh. If this was that, then I think it'd have more praise.
Yeah, like they should have leaned into it. But like we said earlier, it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
So it tries to do everything and it's not good at any of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel bad saying
I think in the first episode where they frame John Cable, and then Robocop gets programmed to try and kill John Cable, and then Bone Machine pops in there and he's like, it's a three-way shootout, but it's not really.
Yeah.
And John Cable thinks he's in a John Woo film, but he's jumping back with his double guns and stuff like that. What? And the first 5 minutes of episode 1, where the police lady is like, no unnecessary force or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Robocop appears and just basically shoots someone right away.
Yeah.
Even though you don't really see that much. Yeah. It's not like the guy blows up after being shot or anything like that.
No.
It's just like a small little bullet hole, and that's that. And then so you have these people in the it looks like a bank, and they're suicide bombers. I think they're trying to rob the bank, but it just looks like they got suicide packs on for what reason?
Yeah, because there's like some weird gang or something that just blow themselves up like that.
Yeah. It was like, what? Okay, I thought you were bank robbers, but you clearly aren't, right?
Yeah.
And then somehow Bone Machine with his with his machine guns appears. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't know. I don't know myself. I have to say, I feel like a lot of things won't. It's like, okay, who read the scripts and decided, okay, this is what we need to do?
I don't think anyone read the scripts, if I'm honest. I reckon they woke up day of and like, hey, we're going to film, this came to a dream, we're going to film this, and this.
In a fever dream, yeah.
Like, okay. Because legit, for a while, until we started doing this, I kept on talking about it, I legit thought this whole series was like a fever dream that I made up. But no, it's an actual thing.
And when you realised it was real, you were just like, I wish it was a dream.
Yeah, I wish it was. Because it probably
at least your dream would have had some sort of continuity. Even though we know dreams never actually have continuity.
But, yeah, it's just...
Well, I can't even... I don't want to say I'm necessarily glad I watched it.
Yeah.
But it was a sight to see.
It was an experience, nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah. More skewed to the. okay. The only thing that like, what I know I keep on saying it, but it's cheap, and that's what I remember of it. Unfortunately, 100% is just like, oh, let's get these people in this dark location, or these bunch of people over here or over there, or like you reuse the same sets multiple times. It seems whether it is different places or not, it just looks like you just changed them, and you got the same street, but you changed the thing in front of it. It's just like I've seen TV series, right? And they do, like, I will say the first season of Daredevil didn't take place in a lot of different locations, but it didn't look that cheap.
No.
Yeah.
But
so, and okay, if they did a RoboCop series now, like a 6 episode hour-long series like this or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Would you watch it? Or, and do you think it would be better than this? Or I guess it depends on what age rating is when it would. To be fair,
television's come a long way in the last like 10 years. Mm-hmm. I would watch it. I think it'd probably end up being good. Like look how much like high budget TV shows are out nowadays.
It's true. It's true. Would you expect if they do make a RoboCop series? Yeah. Would you want it? Would you think it'd be 18, or do you expect it to be something lower rated because that's kind of what they are aiming at their audience for some reason?
I think it would be 18. Yeah. No,
I think. A high level 15.
Maybe a high level 15.
Yeah. Because I mean, look, they do 18 rated series and they do pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, RoboCop didn't have a lot of nudity at all, I don't believe.
No, I don't think it did.
It had some decent amount of swearing.
People doing coke,
Yeah, and people, when they get shot, they get blown up. And like, okay, so when you watch RoboCop 1, and blood's just flying everywhere, something touches someone, and blood just splurts out, essentially. And you watch this, and they're like, right, bullets hit people, no blood anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But then you see a dude get like destroyed with a sledgehammer. Yeah, it was really. Oh
yeah, that was a pretty good scene. But you don't really see it. That's the thing.
You see the hammer with like all the brain matter and stuff like that.
Well, no, you didn't even see that, right?
Yeah, because he pulls back and you see like blood and like flesh just strip off the hammer. Like that's a bit.
Oh, you see stuff on. You see unidentified substance on the hammer.
Anyone smart enough, like that's part of the.
No, I'm not denying what it is, right? I'm just saying the reason they did past it.
Yeah.
Is because you don't know specifically what was on the hammer to begin with, so.
True. Yeah.
That's how you could get it to a PG or whatever. Okay, That was him killing Bone Machine, right? Because Bone Machine killed John Cable. Oh no.
No, RoboCop did.
RoboCop.
Chest, yeah.
Yeah. RoboCop had to. It was trying to. He was in the same situation with the serial killer, like he was with John Cable, right?
Yeah.
And then he had to shoot because his programming was trying to shoot John Cable. He shot John Cable with an armor-piercing round and killed him. And then he basically charged that bone machine and just destroyed him.
Yeah.
With the sledgehammer. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that this guy who's been RoboCop is trying, man.
Oh, there's another bit where John Cable he kills someone with a sledgehammer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh no, yes, no, you're right. I'm wrong. Because RoboCop kills Bonesaw with the spike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, no. Yeah. Yeah. I like whenever there's a gunfight going on, it's just mainly RoboCop standing still. RoboCops, either of them, right? Just kind of reacting to bullets getting shot at them and stuff like that, and it's just like. Okay, so some big action scenes, but just like dudes in police uniforms, SWAT, wherever they are, right?
Yeah.
Against the RoboCops who can barely maneuver somehow, and just it doesn't look exciting or dramatic. It's shot in the most short. I want to say this when it's RoboCop fighting groups of people.
Yeah.
This is when stuff gets static, but when it's RoboCop versus RoboCop. All of a sudden the camera's like, oh, I'm alive. Yeah. Let me go over here, and here,
I don't know.
I think if they did this, if they did the series nowadays, it'd be much better because they'd be like, let's either embrace the over the topness of it or let's make it super serious. But then again, the Robocop 2014 film showed me otherwise, so I can't actually say.
Even though I actually like the 2014 version.
Oh, come on, give me the lowdown as to why.
I don't know. I don't know. I like John Kinnaman, what his name is.
Joel Kinnaman, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know. I just thought it was. It didn't. Well, again, it didn't have the humor of the original. If I'm honest, which I don't think when that came out, it would have worked that much anyway.
Yeah.
Why did I like it? I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again because I think I watched it twice when it came out. I saw it in cinema. And I think I watched it again.
I think I watched it twice. Once when it came out in cinema, and once when it came out on Sky, and I was like, I don't know. I think it was just like, oh, it's one of those where we've got better technology. Let's go and do stuff. Let's update the series. Let's refresh it. But it's just like you're not aiming for what that was aiming for at the time.
Yeah.
The ludicrous levels of whatever it was meant to be, and you're trying to do it serious, but you're doing it as a PG, as a 12A or something like that.
Yeah. But
it just kind of knocked its legs out.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the cast of it. Michael Keaton and Samuel Jackson. Like, okay, that's stuff, right? But
yeah.
In a movie where everyone could go full, like if they remade RoboCop 1.
Yeah.
Instead, no, I want to say remake, but remaster essentially.
Yeah.
Reskin.
Yeah.
Okay. You got Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And then you got Resident Evil Remastered. Is there a remastered one?
Yeah, which came out like the.
Is that remake?
No.
Okay, well there's the remaster and the remake. Yep.
Yeah.
There's the original. There's the remaster and the remake. And sometimes games have multiple versions of these, right? I do believe Last of Us has the original, has a remaster and a remake. Yep.
Yeah.
And the remake, you could do what like this RoboCop 2014 is I'd say a remake, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
But if they just got the original RoboCop, and I'm saying literally reskinned it because you have to tweak some bits and pieces, right?
Yeah.
You could have, if Dick Jones was Samuel Jackson, and what's his name? Lawrence Bodiker was Michael Keaton. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. But they just didn't, and they go full ham. Even if you threw Nicolas Cage in here, then at least I know what I was watching.
Yeah.
I think they tried an action movie that tried to be a character drama, but it didn't succeed. Because it was like, what are you trying? Where are you going here? You can be an action movie, it's fine. But if you're trying to make me a movie about a man who becomes, realizes he's lost parts of his body, and essentially is in a cyborg shell.
Yeah.
Then you could go for that, but that's not what RoboCop was in the first place. Well, that's not the vibe that they were going for, and calling it RoboCop will make it something that it's kind of not if you do that, because that's not what the aim of RoboCop is.
Yeah.
I can't say it. I can't say I liked it when I watched it. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll be like, okay, I see what they tried to do, but it just went for just went action movie instead. Big loud action dumb movie.
Yeah.
Because that works. We liked Aquaman.
Yeah. Unless I'm guessing they were trying to do stuff for a sequel would have been like maybe more out there and action bombastic, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're saying that you think 2014 RoboCop is better than Prime Direct. Okay.
Of course.
Without seeing something, I want to ask you to rate everything without having seen it, yeah?
Yeah.
Because some of them you wouldn't have seen. Okay, so there's the RoboCop movie series, which is RoboCop 1, 2, and 3. I will say the RoboCop TV series, the RoboCop Prime Directives here, and the RoboCop 2014 film here. I'm not going to make you rank the... you know what? I'll throw in the animated series as well, just for the jokes of it. And I think there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, rank them what you think that as far as from what you've seen, how good you think certain things are.
Okay. Obviously, because I don't remember the series itself, the original series.
Yeah, the TV series, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll probably rank it higher than what we just watched.
I'll have to disagree with you right away, only because that's also a 12A, right? Or you know, whatever it is. It's a TV series. It's aimed at kids.
Yeah.
I'd probably... Yeah, okay. To be fair, you might be right? But it's just a gamble at this point. Which one would be worst?
Yeah.
But then, okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna reverse your rating. Yeah, personally for me. Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying, by the way, Prime Directives is worse than the TV series you have not seen. If I'm clear, yeah.
Well, I think I've seen it, but this was years ago. I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I reckon Prime Directives is better than that TV series because there's probably 22 episodes. Yeah. Whereas Prime Directives only got 4 episodes, which are 9 minutes long, which will probably be about 6 to 8 episodes, right, of a TV series. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means it ends quicker. If I have to see the same stuff in Prime Directives for 22 hours, or 18 hours, or if you're taking away the 5 minute, the adverts or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it could last.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my logic, right?
Yeah. Okay, and then I will also probably rank higher the cartoon as well, because again, I remember seeing it, but not much of it. But I don't remember it being that terrible.
RoboCop Alpha Commando. Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember.
But here's the thing. Without having seen any of this, right? I think I have seen some animation of it.
Yeah.
But at the level that this has gone, where it's super aimed at kids, really kidified, it might actually be hilarious to see how bad it's gone.
Yeah.
So far you're saying as far as the reverse best, yeah?
Yeah.
The worst. You're saying Prime Directives, then you're saying the TV series, then you're saying the cartoon series, yeah?
Yep.
Alright, whereas I'm saying the TV series, Prime Directives, and then the cartoon series, yeah? So we both have the cartoon series in the middle, alright?
Okay, yep. I'm not going to class Robocop 3 because I think Robocop 3 never happened.
Well, no, we just count that as the movie series, yep?
Because then I'll put not Terminator. Why do I keep calling Terminator? Then I'll put the 2014 second, and then the originals.
Yeah, you know what? As much as I have to say I don't really like the 2014 film, I think it's going to be better than stuff that is just really defangs.
Yeah. Because at least that knew what it was.
Yes.
Like, the ones we just watched, like saying before, it doesn't know what it is.
Yeah. Are you hoping to see any other RoboCop, whatever in the future? Or you think, you know what, this franchise needs a rest?
It's been 10 years.
And by the way, 2014 has been a long while.
Yeah, I'll be alright with it now if something came back now. Yeah, I'll give RoboCop a go. Really try, yeah. I'll be with it.
I don't know myself, but at the same time, I just guess for me, it depends on who's the team behind it now. Yeah. That whether you have faith in them or not.
Yeah. It could do.
But
what's going on now?
Yeah, I'd like it to be. I don't know. I'd like to whether I want to say I wanted to catch the vibes of the original.
Yeah.
But it needs to be something, right? It needs to be. I feel like this is sometimes violence for violence sake as well.
Yeah.
So maybe I have to tone down some of that stuff. But it does have its charm when it does stuff like that. So it's yeah. It's I don't want to say it's a hard line to straddle, but it's just like what is your storyline? Where you're going with it? How are you going to make it? It doesn't need to be dark to be dark. It can be gritty, as you know, and it can be. It doesn't necessarily need to be dramatic. Yeah. Yeah. Because look, man, we watch slasher. Oh, I watch slasher films and I enjoy them, and they are what they are. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to watch a movie where Robocop goes ballistic and starts murdering people, right? But, yeah. I feel like you just don't kidify Robocop because he's. Look how he got killed at the beginning. If you're going to say it's a guy who got shot to death, well, not shot to pieces, in fact. Yeah. And then they just put the parts of his body that were. Had they just scooped up? Yeah. And then it's kind of melded him back together. It's just like, well, that's off key to begin with. How do you explain to children? By the way, you know the reason he's Robocop, by the way, is because these guys shot his hand off, right? Shot his legs off, shot him in the head, so his blame spread, yeah. Yeah. And now we're gonna aim it. We're gonna market to children, right?
Well,
fantastic.
It was the 90s and stuff. They did that.
Yeah, what a move! That's all I gotta say.
But yeah, So.
Yeah. But
like, I don't know. I personally, I don't know if you could recreate RoboCop to be sort of like the original now, because like I know times have changed and the humor sort of changed nowadays. So I don't think it would. Like, fair enough. Like, people, the general public, I reckon, wouldn't go and see it. Like, old fans would, like, oh yeah, it's gone back to what I remember, blah, blah, blah. But
it's true.
I think you could sort of market that to sort of people nowadays.
Well, I think all the humor, that the satire was aimed at the whatever was going on in the 80s at the time. Yeah. So if you had if you're doing that now, you'd be aiming it at taking shots at the Instagrammers or the TikTokers or all them that sort of thing, modernizing the people that you're taking pot shots at. But then you take pot shots yourself because no one is safe if for the humor from the. I won't say the humor, but that if your film's gonna be having a go at everything, might as well have a go at yourself as well on top. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, they are on the joke as well. Yeah. But yeah, you kind of wish you never resaw Prime Directives.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
All right, well, I've watched it on one time. When I watch it again, probably not.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I'm likely to watch it again at all, actually.
Yeah. Like what reason do you have?
I mean, exactly. Once is kind of enough for me. Yeah. That's and that's that. And that's us concluding this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse.
Yes.
I'm the man who needs to cure cancer, and the cancer is crime. See why, Chung?
And I am the man who wants to show you all his cloning technology, which never comes back again in this film, or as a plot point at all, which could have made more sense. Carl Charles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, did you realise that doesn't? Why bring that up and then you never use it in any sort of story?
Yeah. You would have thought that's one of those things where maybe there's clone. They're going to clone some other things to it, or you know the guy who took over Robocable, whatever. Yeah. And he was a clone as well, and then you got a bunch of clones of him or whatever, right? Just something. Nah. We're just gonna sweep that under the carpet, pretend it. Not pretend it never happened, but just shrug.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
But yes, and thank you for listening to us talk about RoboCop Prime Directive. I already forgot. That is the name of it, right?
Yeah.
There we go. See, so
erased it from your mind. You RoboCop erased it from your mind right away as soon as that.
Yeah. Even while watching it, I was like, oh god. Thank you for listening to us talk about it. Have you watched it, and have anything we said enticed you to watching it? If you said no, I wouldn't blame you.
Yes.
But if you haven't seen it, let us know. We can possibly tell us stuff that you thought was hilarious about it. Like the random hacker people who I'm pretty sure were famous B-list celebrities at the point, and then they just get killed off in the film, just randomly shot. You're like, oh, you guys had like electrical powers. I'm confused, but all right, sure, whatever.
Payday, laters.
Yeah. So yes, and let us know, and you can do that by leaving a message for us on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find all the lovely description part. In the description, you can find out where you can find us. Don't forget, if you watch us on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and watch some of our other videos. It'll be pretty cool. And also, please, if you could, give us a 5-star review on whatever podcasting app or website, whatever you're listening to this to. Not to on. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Okay.